Hi, this is your Professor David Lane, and today I'd like to go over the class syllabus. The first thing you're going to see is my website, neuralserver.com. It was created back in 1993, which, interestingly, was one of the very first websites to be developed on the internet after Tim Berners-Lee had developed the World Wide Web out of CERN. What you want to do is click on, I have news, diary, library, film, social media, contact, home, but you're going to want to click on to school. I'll give you a direct link off of Moodle Rooms, and you're going to want to hit on to critical thinking. Philosophy 8. It's an 8-week course, fairly intense. The course is designed to help us to think more critically over a broad number of issues, including such subjects as religion, mathematics, physics, psychology, and biology. To achieve this goal, each student is required to write 6 distinct essays over the course of the semester. Each essay must be at least 500 words in length and properly edited before final submission to your professor. There will also be a midterm and a final, which are all essay-based, and which I think I've already attached onto the syllabus. The first thing I want you to notice, excuse me, is there's a library of free materials. The Runenbaum Library has hundreds of illustrated magazines that we've created for free. I have a YouTube channel called The Neural Surfer Vision, and it has hundreds of original films on critical thinking, philosophy, science, and religion. There's my email address, Facebook, and of course, if you have any questions, just email me directly. Here are the instructions. Everyone's going to create a website. Now, it doesn't cost you any money. I've created an instructional video to explain how to do it. It takes about 10 seconds. And this website of yours is going to have all the material you've done for the class. We've also created a forum. This forum allows you to interact with other students and also respond to the readings and to the films. Now, there are 6 required books in this class. You cannot buy them at the bookstore. You can only get them from Amazon, primarily because we want to keep at a no profit, and we want this to be as cheap as possible. So you get them from Amazon, and here's the instructions of how to do that. They're small books, not huge. And however, if you want them for free and don't want to spend any money, you can get them as free PDF versions, although people do complain about reading off a screen. Now, the course outline, it goes like this. In the introduction, I really want you to go over the introductory readings because they set the template for the class. Thinking and writing clearly, a field guide to critical thinking, a mini guide to critical thinking and writing. These are all links that are free. The first week, we're going to cover mathematics, and that sounds a little daunting, but it's not. It's basically to get over innumeracy, that is our inability to think through large numbers. It's really quite an exciting task because you'll start to understand not only statistics, but how people get manipulated by politics or by religion or by science, in fact, by the way they use numbers. So the very first book you're going to read is called You Are Probability. Second book is a kind of a children's book, but illustrates a very complex mathematical idea called Littlewood's Law of Miracles, which is the theory of large numbers, called Voodoo Voodoo in 2 more ways. You'll see how that works. So those are the first 2 books you're going to read. Then there's online readings, The Hidden Side of Wolfgang Pauli. He's a Nobel Prize winner who came up with the Pauli exclusion principle that 2 electrons cannot be in the same space. A very famous article by Michael Shermer called Patternicity. Now, we've created a number of original films here. Voodoo Voodoo, Bertrand Russell and Clear Thinking, Gödel's Paradox, Geometric Philosophy, The Star Trek Metaphor, Circling the Matrix. And after you've done that, you've read the 2 books and maybe done some extra credit, watched the films, you're going to write an essay responding to significant questions each week. And then you're going to put those onto your website, which you create on a Google site. And you can also, if you want to, share them on the class forum. I also have extra credit. You want to get this done by every Sunday night. Then the following week, we move from mathematics to physics, understanding how things work, in a book called Adventures in Science. And then, of course, there's some interesting articles called Are You Living in a Computer Simulation? Alan Turing, the famous movie that just came out called The Imitation Game on the Mind and Machine Intelligence. Very famous, actually, article that he had penned back in 1936, if I'm not mistaken. Films on quantum uncertainty, the Shiva nature of science, the Feynman imperative, Feynman's flower. Then again, you write your essay. Then we get into week 4. We start to understand biology and understand evolution. We have a book called Cosmic Creationism, which talks about the conflict between intelligent design and evolution by natural selection as developed by Darwin and others. We have required online readings. We have films we've created. And then again, the prompt. Now, the midterm is due March 21st. I've already created the midterm for you. It's all essay-based. We'll put it on your website, then email it to me at the appropriate time. Then week 5 and 6, we go understanding the tricks of the mind. We'll talk about the shadow of a God-man, In Search of the Perfect Coke, Human All Too Human by Nietzsche, and Freud's Civilization's Discontents. And then as you move on, we have an essay responding to that. Then in week 7, we do the paranormal, understanding the strange, the mystical, cargo cult science, famous lecture by Feynman at Caltech back in 1974. The physics of the paranormal, what is called reading, and of course a whole series of films that conjoin to it. Again, you respond to it, put it on the class forum and on your website. Then week 8, we study or critically analyze the ethical and the technological, understanding how we're going to live in the future. Pretty controversial article about Why I Don't Eat Faces, The Singularity, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, and things of that nature, global positioning and intelligence, the future of informational memory. And then, of course, you respond. And the final is due April 17th. What I want to point out to you is that what I'm going to do is each week or each week 1 and 2, I'm going to have a little film describing what do you have to accomplish. Like, what do you got to accomplish on week 1 and 2? What do you got to accomplish on week 3 and 4? That kind of thing. And you have to be self-motivated. It's not that difficult. The key is, of course, to read. If you have any problems, you can always email me 24/7. I'll respond within 24 hours or 48 hours at the very max. So, hey, it's good to have you in class. We're here to think critically. And if I had to summarize critical thinking in one sentence, it's this. It's our ability to admit to being wrong, which is really about science. It's what Karl Popper called falsifiability, the ability to change our mind and to follow the best evidence. Okay, thanks so much, and it's good to have you in class.